Johnny Mirror here, and welcome to another tier list video. Now, this one is completely spontaneous. Honestly, this was not planned. I did not expect to do this, but I was just really in the mood. I saw one of my old videos randomly when I was just checking out my channel, and I was like, I kind of want to do that again because I feel like my opinion has changed quite a bit. I don't even remember the last time I did do this. I don't feel like it was that long ago, but also I don't know. I just got the feeling to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing a video game genre tier list. Now, I'm going to be judging this, I think more I don't know. I'm going to say more objectively, more than personal. However, I'm going to put a little bit of bias in there. There's no way I can't. However, we are going to be looking at a lot of aspects when it comes to these genres. The quantity of just the games, the quality of the games, both of those mixed combined. We're going to be looking at the variety, the creativeness, the uniqueness, the importance of it, the whatever. We're just going to be looking at it. We're not going to go too in-depth on every genre. I'm just going to be giving you my overall thoughts on some of them, and we're going to be getting over. So one of the tiers that we have to work with here today are GOATed. Oh, sorry. There you go. You can't see it. GOATed, bangers, safe, hit or miss, weak, trash, don't know or care. GOATed, pretty much if like every game that they produce is just an absolutely amazing game. If, you know, they are the most exciting genre, pretty much you get the picture. Bangers are when the genre consistently delivers high quality games, but I will say that it is very rare you get like masterpieces. I would say, or not rare, but it's not quite the like masterpiece material type genre. And then safe is like just things that like you know it's gonna be fun to a certain degrees. Sometimes they add things that are exceed your expectations, sometimes they go below expectations. This is a very safe genre that you can do a lot with. Hit or miss is, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're good, but overall it's a well-known genre. Weak is genres that typically miss the mark and are typically feel underdeveloped. And then trash is just genres that I think are not that fun. And then don't know or care. Probably a lot will go in there just because I think some of the genres are kind of confusing to a point where you don't know what to classify as a genre, and so I'm probably just gonna put it in there. But anyway, we're gonna get started with racing. Racing is a safe option. I mean, come on, like you can't really go wrong with racing. I mean, that's not true. You can, but like also racing exceeds just like what you might think at, unless they have a separate thing here for kart racers. But like you have to think Mario Kart, Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know why that was the first one. Sonic Team Racing. I don't know why Diddy Kong Racing was the first one I thought of. But like you have to think Mario Kart, Crash Team Racing, stuff like that are all considered racing games as well. But then of course you got the Forza Horizons, Forza Motorsport, Gran Turismo, Need for Speeds, and I personally love a lot of racing. I think racing is kind of an underrated genre just because it is racing, but truth be told, it is a very good genre that a lot of great games come out of. I would even consider putting it bangers because, I mean, think of how many great racing games there are. The problem is, it's not, I personally don't love the genre. It's not like a genre that I'm super excited every time I see a game for it. And I feel like, you can only look at like Forza Horizons, Mario Kart as like the industry finest of the genre. So I'm just going to go safe here. I think that's a safe pick for me. I'm sorry. Anyway, survival horror. I'm not going to lie. I really want to put it GOATed. I really do. Because I don't really know if I can point out very many survival horror games that I don't think are at least 9 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like most survival horror games, with the exception of a couple, are all like 9 out of 10s. And there's a lot of 10 out of 10. There's a lot of 10 out of 10 survival horror games. I mean, just to name a few: Silent Hill, Dead Space, Resident Evil, Alan Wake 2, just to name a couple. And it's just such a good genre, man. Like, and it's one of my most exciting genres. Like, anytime a new survival horror game gets announced, I'm always super excited for it. I think I am gonna put it GOATed. Personally, it really is just one of my top. It's easily a top 5 genre for me right now, so I think I have to put it GOATed. Now, there are genres in my top 5 that I think are higher that I'm going to put lower, but that's just because I do think, objectively speaking, survival horror games are one of the top in the industry, especially right now. Metroidvania, speaking of that genre, I'm gonna go bangers, okay? I know this is controversial. Now, Metroidvania is top 3 genres for me, okay? Metroidvania is in the top 3 genres for me. Actually, I don't know about that. It's definitely top 5, and personally, I would put it above survival horror. So I'm thinking it's top 3, but I don't know. I haven't made my ranking in a long time. Maybe that's another video. I'm gonna do a whole ranking again. Maybe we'll do that. But Metroidvanias are one of my favorites because they come out to be the most creative. They come out to be the most addicting, in my opinion. And it is just so fun because you can get so many different types of Metroidvanias. And so many of my favorite games are Metroidvania. Ori Will of the Wisps, Prince of Persia, Hollow Knight, and the list goes on and on and on. The problem is I don't feel like there are enough Metroidvanias yet. I don't feel like there are enough Metroidvanias, and even when I look at things like Prince of Persia or, Ori Will of the Wisps, while I think they are phenomenal games, I wouldn't consider them some of the best games of all time, you know what I mean? I do think Will of the Wisps is a masterpiece, and personally, I think that might be the only, Metroidvania that I think is a masterpiece outside of my favorite, Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is easily the best Metroidvania in my opinion, and even then I don't feel like there is enough, especially when you compare it to something like survival horror. It is just, survival horror is such a dominant genre. I don't feel like Metroidvania has reached quite that level. It is for sure one of my favorites, don't get me wrong. But if I'm also looking at this objectively, I do feel like Metroidvanias have to be a little bit below that. Bullet Hell, I don't care. I mean, there are a lot of great Bullet Hell games. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I for one would consider something like Returnal Bullet Hell, to be honest with you. But I don't know enough about the genre or other games to. I don't really know what I would even classify. I'm not even sure I'd classify Returnal as a Bullet Hell. So I'm just gonna put it in don't know or don't care. Third-person shooters. See, this is one of those genres where it's so hard to classify because it could really be a lot of different things. But I think for this one, see, if you're considering third-person shooters as just like something like Uncharted, but then you also have something like Fortnite, 2 very different games, but technically they are third-person shooters. If you're considering that, then I'm gonna say safe. There are a lot of great third-person shooters, but then there are a lot of bad. Then we kind of have to go hit or miss here. Problem is, here, I'm just going to find it. I think first-person shooters are far better. I think first-person shooters are one of the best genres out there. Are they one of my favorites? No. But I think it is really good. Now, third-person shooters. I prefer third-person. Don't get me wrong. I am a big third-person fan, but I can't necessarily say third-person shooters are where it's at because there are a lot. Like I'm thinking of like Rogue Company, right? That game's a third-person shooter, but it's just kind of weird at times. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I want. There's 2 FPS here. That's crazy. Actually, is there two of everything? Wait a minute. No, there's not. Okay, there's only just 2 FPS. If there was a second third-person shooter, I would probably switch it up. But I think I'm gonna go with this. I think this makes sense here. I do like first-person shooters way more, but third-person shooters, there are so many good ones, but then there are some bad ones. But I think overall it is a safe option. As long as you make a good game in that genre, it's gonna be a pretty safe option. But anyway, moving on to Rhythm, dude. Rhythm. There are some really cool rhythm games. I think rhythm is a very creative, very interesting genre to do. I mean, if we look at something like Hi-Fi Rush, Beat Saber, Rhythm Heaven, those are some incredible games. But then there are so many rhythm games that are just like, who cares? You know what I mean? And I can't say it's safe because not everybody loves rhythm games, and you can easily. I'm gonna go hit or miss, but don't get me wrong, there are some incredible rhythm games. Hi-Fi Rush is goated. Just saying. So is Beat Saber and Rhythm Heaven. All the ones I just named are all good. Board games. I mean, I play board games physically. But we're talking video games here. So if we're thinking of like Monopoly video game, where it's like a board game in a video game. I don't really play those very much. I'm gonna go don't care personally, because I just don't play those as video games very much. JRPGs. I'll tell you right now, it's one of the top two. I mean, it's one of the top two. The question is, do I use my bias or do I objectively speak? Because if I'm using my bias off of my personal experiences, I'm going bangers, okay? But JRPGs is one of the most popular, dominant genres in the industry. The problem is, I don't know, especially currently, because this is also a current list. Especially currently, outside of Final Fantasy, Yakuza, and the Persona stuff. Okay, so pretty much outside of Square Enix and Sega, outside of those two, I can't say it should belong in the GOATed tier. But when you consider those three franchises, it should be in the GOATed tier. So this is really hard, because I think JRPG, especially right now in the current state of gaming, I think it is quality way over quantity at the moment. At least the ones that I play, right? At least the big ones, the one that gets all the attention. I'm well aware there are tons and tons of JRPGs. And to be honest, I think there are a lot of JRPGs that are just okay or kind of weak. Like, there are, honestly, if we're not considering the GOATed games, it's kind of a hit or miss genre, because there are a lot of bad JRPGs. Let's be honest here. There are a lot of bad JRPGs. The problem is when you consider things like Final Fantasy, Yakuza, and Persona, it just immediately screams GOATed. But when you really think about it, if you put your bias aside, I guess, it kind of is bangers. I don't know. This one's really hard. I think for me, the biggest one is Yakuza and Final Fantasy. Because Yakuza as a franchise is just, like, all of them are at least 9 out of 10, I swear to God. And then, like, Square Enix, I mean, Final Fantasy is just one of the most iconic video game franchises of all time. But I'm gonna... Oh, dude, this is really hard. I'm gonna put it GOATed for now. Okay, but I may move things around at the end of it, because I don't want to spend any more time on that. We spent a lot of time. Sport, same thing with racing. It's just a very safe genre. I personally would probably move sport above racing. I mean, like, all the Mario spin-offs, for one, I just absolutely love them. And yeah, and then there are some sports games. Like, I am a Madden fan, so I really enjoy that. But then I'm well aware I hate NBA and NHL and all that stuff. So it's like, don't really care. Right now, one of my most anticipated games is actually a boxing game coming out. So, you know, I'm gonna say safe. MMORPG. This is gonna be our first trash one. I personally just cannot stand MMORPGs. It is just not. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. Tactical RPGs. So I'm gonna assume this is. Is this what you would consider Xenoblade? I don't know if... No, this is like Wasteland or stuff like that, right? I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna... I don't know what I would classify this genre as, so I'm gonna put it as don't know. I for sure have played tactical RPGs. I just don't know what we're classifying as. Now, turn-based strategy, this is things like, I mean, anything turn-based that requires strategies, like Pokemon, Mario + Rabbids, stuff like that. And these just consist of bangers all the time. Turn-based is quickly becoming one of my favorite genres, especially after Mario + Rabbids, Sparks of Hope. It is my 4th favorite game of all time. Quirky MMO. What the heck does that even... I don't even know. Stealth. I mean... See, I've talked about this multiple times. when you incorporate stealth into a game, I love it, right? I love whenever games have stealth. Like all the Assassin's Creed games are awesome, but those are not solely stealth games. Those are also action RPGs. When we are considering a pure stealth game, we barely get any. And when we do, I wouldn't consider them like some of the best games ever. I would consider some of them bangers, like Tom Clancy, Splinter Cell, stuff like that, Hitman, stuff like that, bangers. But then those are like the only two, and then there's a lot of stealth games that are just like whatever, and then we don't even have a lot in the first place. So I'm gonna go with, I don't think it's a weak genre though. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it's weak. Because it is a safe genre, but then at the same time, is it on the level of these three? And I just say no. I think it's a part of rhythm. We get so few of them. When we do get them, they're either really great or just okay. You know what I mean? So it's I'm gonna go with that. Puzzle, pretty safe. I mean, you can't mess up puzzle games, in my opinion. Now the thing is, puzzle games have a huge ceiling. Like, they could be goated low-key because there are so many great puzzle games. But I think for me personally, I'm just going to go safe. I mean, again, this is sort of the same thing as stealth, but we get way more of it, is that I love when games incorporate puzzles, but I don't love straight-up puzzle games all that much. But there are some exceptions, of course. Looter shooters, I'm going to say weak. There are some looters I can get behind, but definitely not one of my favorites. Plus, I would have liked them just put looter, because this is looter shooter, meaning Destiny and stuff like that, and like Borderlands. I'm not a big Destiny fan. Borderlands I do love, but again, it's kind of just weak. There's a lot of copy clones. Not a big fan of those. Now, things like Godfall, that's a looter slasher, but they're not gonna have that on here. So yeah, I'm gonna put weak just because I'm not a big looter fan, and that's just me. Real-time 3D adventure. What the heck does that... See, like, what does that classify as? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know. Simulations, bro. I mean, it's pretty... I mean, like, what would you consider a bad simulator? You know what I mean? I would say I'm gonna put it hit or miss. Just because I would say it's below... I don't know. I do like me some simulations. I do like me some simulator. I'm going to put it safe. I mean, yeah, it's just a safe genre. RPGs. I have to put it goated. I mean, like, let's be real. The RPGs are the video game genre. Like, there would be no video games without RPGs. It is the video game genre. And the thing is, I know one friend particularly who's going to see this and be like, oh, dude, I just can't get behind RPGs. I get that. You can't get behind Western RPGs, my guy. There are tons and tons of RPGs. If you're putting JRPG in GOATed, you have to put RPG in GOATed, because JRPG is just a subgenre of RPGs. Survival horror games could be RPGs. Metroidvanias could be RPGs. RPGs are the video game genre. It just depends on what RPGs you like. There are so many subgenres, but overall RPGs are like the video game genre. But yeah, MOBA. I'm gonna put weak, just because there's only one MOBA I really like, and that's Pokemon Unite. And so yeah, but I can't put it trash because I do love one of them. Action RPG. See, now this is where you get something like Bayonetta and something like Nier and Devil May Cry. I mean, I think those are bangers. I'm not gonna say they produce a lot of like masterpiece games, but like they produce absolute bangers for sure. I'm gonna probably put it like right there, just behind Metroidvania. Phone games, get out of here, trash. What the heck is... Oh, a gacha game? I'm not even confident what that is. First person shooter, we already did that. I'm not gonna do that. Survival / sandbox. Very hit or miss in my opinion. Very hit or miss. There's a lot of good ones, but then there's a lot of bad ones. I personally like the survival more than the sandbox, but that's just me. Tower defense, bro. Tower defenses are pretty cool. I'm also gonna put hit or miss. A lot of them are just whatever, but then like there are some really fun. I was in a whole phase of tower defense at one point. Visual novel Telltale games. Okay, this is hard because there's a lot of visual novels that are just garbage. But then you have Telltale. Someone's gonna see. The problem is if you split these two, right? If you had visual novel as one, I know so many people who would put it in trash. But then if you have Telltale, they'd be like, "Oh, bro, bangers." You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna go hit or miss. I think that's the safe choice here. Battle Royale, weak genre now. It had its go, but now it's kind of just whatever. Fighting game, goated. I think it's one of the pillars of video games. I mean, the fighting game is one of those genres where it just holds so many feelings and things that are exclusive to that genre. There's no game when you get an announcement for a fighting game, everybody just wants to know the roster, wants to see all the special moves, wants to see all the stages. There's no other genre like it. It really just, it has so much of gaming exclusive to that genre, and I just absolutely love it. And number one, it's also one of my favorite genres. So yeah, I have to put it goated. Action adventure, I would argue, outside of RPG, is the next. It is the other video game genre. You know, you have RPG and action adventure. This is where you get things like Spider-Man, like God of War, where you get things like Hellblade, where you get things like, I mean, Legend of Zelda is also RPG, but like action adventure mixed with the RPG can literally be anything. For the most part, but action adventure where you get all those third-person story-driven stuff. Story-driven games are where you get action adventure for the most part. Yeah, it is also like the thing. Platformers, also goated. I think has some of the most critically acclaimed games of all time. Has some of the best characters, music, whatever. It just also has the same thing as a fighting game to some degree, where it just holds so many things, aspects to a game exclusive to that one genre. But I would consider that more of like qualities of a game rather than like features and like things of a game. You know what I mean? Because like platformer, like, I mean, like Ratchet and Clank, Spyro, Mario, like that art style, those type of vibes you can only get out of platforms. Point and click, not my thing. I'm gonna say weak, personally. Action shooter. See, like, what's the difference? Okay. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna say don't know, because I really don't know. Life sim. I mean, are we just going with Sims? Are we going with Sims? If we're going with Sims, I'm just gonna go with like hit or miss, I guess. Or, I don't know. I'm gonna go weak. Sims is great, but like outside of that, what are we talking? How often do we actually play that? RTS, real-time strategy, hit or miss. I think this is like Xenoblade and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. 4X Civ game, I don't know. City Builder, don't know. Idle game, no. Auto Battler, what the heck is that? Roguelike, bangers, dude. Bangers. They are like right behind Metroidvanias for me. They are just consisted of straight bangers. Walking Simulator, in other words, Death Stranding. Why is this actually a genre? I swear to gosh. I'm not gonna prank that. Party games, bangers. I mean, it's just, actually, I'm gonna say safe. There are a lot of weak party games. Let's be honest. There are a lot of party games that are just not fun. But it is a really, really good. I'm gonna put that at the top of safe. And it's also just not a thing I'm always itching to play all the time. And when I do have people, we play like things like Smash and stuff like that. I wouldn't consider that a party game. Multiplayer survival horror. Interesting. I'm gonna go safe, I think. Like Dead by Daylight, yeah. I'm gonna go with like safe. It's a pretty safe thing. I'll go. I don't know. Do I consider it on the same level? No, I do not. I saw roguelike and Metroidvania. I was like, absolutely not. Yeah, I'd consider it like same thing like party game stuff around there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this list. We still have our third-person shooter there, but you know, I just realized you guys could not see Banger or the goated tier the whole time. I do apologize. Yeah, there we go. There is the ranking. So in Goated, we have action adventure, RPG, survival horror, JRPG, fighting, and platformers. Bangers, we have Metroidvanias, roguelike, action RPGs, first-person shooters, turn-based, and strategies. Safe, we have party games, sport, racing, third-person shooters, puzzles, simulation, multiplayer, survival horror. Hit or miss, rhythm, stealth, survival, sandbox, tower defense, visual novel, telltale, RTS, weak, looter shooter, MOBA, battle royale, point and click, life sims, trash, MMO, RPG, and phone game. I don't know why that was like the first time I ever just went through and listed them all. I don't know why I did that. I'm very sorry. I also apologize. Yeah, this is just a very spontaneous video. I just really want to do this. I think it was really fun. Let me know what you guys think. What are some of your favorite genres? So like, there you go. Here is my going completely objective with a little bit of personal. My personal, right? Personally, hold up. Wait a minute. Oh, what would my top 5 be, bro? Oh, see, but you just have to have RPG in there. It's literally everything. That's the problem. RPG is too broken. Like it's unfair. Like all these could be considered RPG. It's too good. If I took RPG out of the equation, like as a whole, then these are my top 5. You know what I mean? But like technically RPGs are all of them. So then I would say like there. Action adventure games are my favorite. I just love those third-person, story-driven narrative games. They're like my favorite. Oh, see, but then there are some action adventure RPG. I don't know. But no. This is. I don't know why I had that there. This is my. That's my top 5 without considering like RPGs being everything, or with considering RPGs being pretty much everything. And then I would say the next one would go. I'd like platformers more than JRPGs. Probably. Oh, I don't know. No, I definitely like that more. Yeah. That is. This one's going up though. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. You know what I mean? I think that's probably my top 10, maybe. Yeah, that's probably my top 10 right there. Complete bias wise. Metroidvania being 2, that's actually kind of crazy. Hold on. I don't know if that's right. Maybe it is, dude. I freaking love Metroidvanias. I really do. That might be right. I don't know. I love them all, dude. I also hate these videos because it really depends on just the game. Any game out of any genre can be one of my favorites, can be a masterpiece. So I'm not, completely judging all these genres, and these tiers are so definitive. Really, if you make a good game, you make a good game. So these videos are kind of stupid, but they're a little fun. So anyway, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Giant out. Peace.